Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business News Afternoon Report for Thursday, the 3rd of October 2024. I'm Sean Aylmer. Every afternoon, we've got the 5 stories that happened today that you need to know about. Story number 1, the S&P ASX 200 closed flat to 8,205 points, with shares in commercial property groups rising following an upbeat assessment from investment bank Barrenjoey. The Real Estate Investment Trust Index on the ASX 200 closed up more than 1%, but really, there wasn't a lot of activity today. The banks were mixed, so too the retailers and miners. Westpac is set to make more than $1 billion in proceeds from the sale of its auto finance loan book to fellow ASX-listed Resimac Group. Westpac's share price fell 1% today. Sigma Healthcare share price keeps running, up 7% today. It's now jumped more than 50% since it gave an undertaking to the ACCC about its deal to merge with Chemist Warehouse. And a note from Goldman Sachs suggested investors switch from Guzman y Gomez shares to Collins Foods, owner of KFC. That pushed the share price of Collins up more than 2% and Guzman down 5%. Mind you, Guzman's share price is still more than double its listing price back on June 20. Story number 2, as the crisis in the Middle East worsens, pro-Palestine organisers in Sydney have dumped plans to hold a rally to mark the 1-year anniversary of the Hamas invasion of Israel. Earlier today, New South Wales Premier Chris Minns said any protest shows no sympathy for the fact that this was a terrible terrorist incident in Israel and there are people who are grieving, and it would be distasteful at best. He made an application to stop the protest ahead of the organisers' decision to pull the plug. Meanwhile, opposition leader Peter Dutton has accused Victorian Premier Jacinta Allan of hiding behind an argument of convenience for not moving to block planned anti-Israel protests in Melbourne on that day, October 7. Story number 3, canned food group SPC is heading back to the ASX with a reverse takeover of Original Juice Co. SPC was established more than 100 years ago as a farmer cooperative in Victoria, eventually listed on the ASX. Then in 2005, it delisted after being bought by Coca-Cola Amatil for about $750 million. A private equity group bought the business from Coca-Cola Amatil in 2019 for just $40 million. SPC will merge with Original Juice Co., which is a small ASX-listed stock with a share market valuation of about $50 or $55 million. It will then spend $50 million to acquire Nature One Dairy's infant formula and powdered milk business. Combined, annual revenues will be about $400 million or thereabouts. The main brands in the SPC business are SPC, Ardmona, Goulburn Valley and Pro Vital. The Original Juice Co. is the 3rd largest orange juice producer in the country. Story number 4, the Namoi Cotton Louis Dreyfus takeover saga, which we thought had ended yesterday, continues. The ASX was forced to scrap hundreds of thousands of dollars of trades in Namoi Cotton after it failed to publish an updated takeover offer from bidder Louis Dreyfus ahead of the shares trading. The information should have been published by the ASX ahead of the opening on Tuesday. The information was certainly relevant. It said that Louis Dreyfus had upped its takeover offer to 77 cents a share for Namoi and had the support of a major shareholder. That's relevant and definitely material, but for some unknown reason, well, the ASX said it was a processing error. The announcement wasn't published. Between 10:06 and 10:12 on Tuesday morning, shares were traded just below 70 cents a share when the revised offer was for the full 77 cents a share. In the end, it probably doesn't make much difference. Louis Dreyfus got Namoi, but what if it was a much bigger deal? Not a good look. And story number 5, Tesla this morning announced a jump in quarterly vehicle sales for the 3 months to the end of September, though the rise wasn't enough to keep investors happy. Investors were hoping for more of a jump in sales in China. Overall, nearly 463,000 Teslas were sold during the quarter, up 6% from a year earlier. Tesla's share price fell 3.5%, having earlier dropped more than 6%. China's government has doubled an incentive for consumers to trade in older cars for EVs. And alongside excitement around self-driving prototypes due to be released shortly, there were hopes that Tesla sales would be much higher. It wasn't to be. That's it for the afternoon report for Thursday, the 3rd of October 2024. Michael Thompson and I will be back tomorrow morning with a Friday edition of Fear and Greed Business News. I'm Sean Aylmer. Enjoy your evening.